We got caught in the rain. We knew it was going to rain this afternoon. We didn't know if we would beat it or not, but we didn't quite do that. So we're in our rain gear. So we're sporting our rain jackets, and Sherry's back there with her rain jacket. And we're trying to just make a good effort to get there quickly without slipping and falling, because things are kind of slippery right now. But we're not too far away. But the forest floor got kind of quiet. There's no leaves rustling. It's pretty wind still at the moment, so it's really pretty. A lot of moss on these logs. Because it's a forest, and I believe it's national forest, they don't harvest the timber. If a tree goes down, they just cut a section out of the trail so that you can still walk the trail, but they leave the wood lay so that it can decay naturally, and the microorganisms can feed on it, and anything else that wants to, I guess. But there's a lot of trees broke off, and dead trees, but also live trees. Here's one that pretty fresh break, but that's pretty common. A lot of the trees are uprooted easily because the roots are shallow, and thus you have a lot of roots sticking up in the trail. The reason they're shallow is because it's rock, and so they have a hard time finding soil. And as a result of that, you have a lot of roots growing up on top, and strong winds can uproot a pretty big tree because their roots don't go deep. So it's important that we're deeply rooted. Wilmington Gap. So when they have a space between two mountains, they refer to it as a gap, regardless how far down it is. Sometimes they'll call it a deep gap. But everything's still pretty brown or pretty gray. We can see some places on the south side of the mountains where green buds are appearing on trees, and it has the appearance of spring, but this is unseasonably warm for this time of year, even in North Carolina. So we're still following these white blazes. These white blazes are markers for the Appalachian Trail. If we ever wonder if we're still on trail or not, we just look for the white blazes. And occasionally, if you haven't seen one for a while, you can look back over your shoulder and you'll see one there. We're at a gap here. Sometimes there's service roads that come up, and people will actually camp near these service roads. They'll set up a tent and start a fire and camp. Sometimes that's allowed. I don't know how much of that is encouraged, but they do allow that. And a lot of people take advantage of that. So here you can see a little pad, a little parking area, but somebody had a fire there. And then occasionally in the area, you'll see a little place where somebody had pitched a tent, possibly. Come to an area like this, and there's a trail going off this way, and you're not sure which way to go, and there's another trail that goes off that way. But way up yonder there, we see a white blaze, and we know that's the direction. This road apparently is a dead end. I'm not sure where all this goes, but right here is where it stops. So we're going to continue up that mountain, and within about a mile, we should find the shelter. So we're coming down here to Waiau Gap, and the AT occasionally crosses roads, even highways sometimes. Seems kind of odd. You're walking in the woods, you think you're in a very remote, quiet place, you don't hear anything, and then all of a sudden you come to a road, a regular bona fide road. So there it is. And fortunately, It's a very quiet road. And we're going to be going up to Waiau, or Waiau Bald, I guess it's Waiau Bald Tower. So we've got some climbing to do today. How do you feel about that, Sherry?
What?
Climbing. We got some climbing up to the tower here.
Yippee skippy.
So exciting. Yeah, so it'll be a good day. Well, good morning. It's March 8th and we are on Seiler Bald. Spent the night here. It's about 8 o'clock and we're getting ready to head out. And thought maybe you'd like to see where we had camped last night. It's a beautiful view and looks like it's going to be a nice day, maybe rain this evening. But here's the shelter and there's a pretty woman standing there beside the shelter. But these shelters are typically three-sided. This one has a little bit of additional boarding on the side to help prevent wind from coming in. And as you can see, there's really not much here, just some boards. And I guess the mice activity, they were running around in the rafters in here last night, but nothing too bad. And has a little table here, which is really nice, good place to cook. And then there's a table out here where Sherry's standing, and that's a cement top, ends, bottom, and only the boards on the side are not cement to sit on. So it's a pretty nice little shelter. That's kind of what they look like.
Explain what those things are.
Oh yeah. So good point, Sherry. There's some little things hanging here. These things here. And the purpose of these, you can hang your backpack on here and it prevents mice from coming down inside. And you can see here where there's a little bit of nesting material. Mice have nested in there. But these are places where backpackers hang their backpacks on. There's a little hook or a little loop on in the center of the backpacks, and those will slip down through there and hang, and the mice can't get down over that. But they do run across the boards sometimes. And then there's a nice view down here. There's some campers down that way. But you can see we're at about 4,500 feet elevation. So you can see the clouds setting in on the lower mountains down there. But we're getting ready to head out. It's going to be a beautiful day. We're looking forward to getting on the trail hiking. Coming down from Seiler Bald, and we had a heavy rain last night, and when I filled my knock bag or my water bag, dirty water bag, to filter water, it plugged pretty quickly, and it was because there was so much runoff, so much silt in the water. But it's all fresh and beautiful again this morning, and I just can't get enough of the mountain streams, of course. They are just gorgeous, and the moss. It's a beautiful day.